Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Kevin. Uh, we have quite a few things to just talk about on this episode, but first, I just want to take a moment here and just take a moment of silence for all of us to reflect on things going on in the world right now. There's a lot of things happening, and just a lot of us don't ever take a moment and just kind of appreciate where we are, think about others, and just slow down. So let's just take a moment and we'll get right back to some of my other topics here. Okay, thank you for joining me in that. So, welcome back. Another episode of Coffee with Kevin. And let's take a sip of that coffee and let's get going here. You may notice I got a new mug. One thing I love about this mug is bigger. I'd probably say a good 30% bigger. So less trips to the coffee maker and more coffee to get going with. And you know how much I love the coffee. So the title that I had on this one, on the kind of thumbnail page, mentioned AI. AI is everywhere. You can't have a conversation today or scroll through LinkedIn or post any kind of, everything's Gen AI, Open AI, use this AI to help you with your day to day, use this AI in business, etc. ServiceNow has done a great job with AI. I've started taking a look at a lot of the Gen AI stuff in platform, and I can only imagine where it's going to go. Obviously there's some great places to start. ITSM, customer service, things that are rapid fire. You need help, you need assistance, right? Coding, developers, trying to get the right code in there, and just helping move things along, right, and keep up with things. So I think there's some great starts, right, and I think it's just going to get spread out further into the system, right? I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the IRM space, the GRC space. I can just see AI taking on being able to run multiple risk scenarios, right? And just let it run and have it come back and say this is how well you're protected. This is how well you're in compliance, right? You may want to pay attention to this. We found one that you're not so well complying with. So I think there's a lot there. I'm thinking of, probably going to date myself a little bit here, but War Games with Matthew Broderick, where, played against a computer and the computer just ran, right? And I can see that happening. I can see that all happening in the background while we're sleeping, while we're working, and just feeding that information back in real time. So I'm really excited about where this is all going to go. I think one of the best places that I would love to see AI almost next inside ServiceNow, and I think a lot of people would agree, is helping to keep up with the upgrades. Not just family upgrades from Vancouver, to Washington, D.C. next, and so on and so forth, but also with all the app upgrades, right? So not only do you have to upgrade your family of ServiceNow, you have to upgrade all your apps along with that. And having AI, I don't know how it would do it, but having AI help with that. It's all about helping keep up, right? And taking those tasks, and maybe it's looking at skip lists, maybe it's looking at whatever in the system, and really helping move that along. So I can see that as a big assist inside ServiceNow. And if I've given someone a product idea, great. If I've given ServiceNow an idea, great. Maybe it's already in the works, but I think that would be another great step. So that's kind of my input. Another thing about AI that I do want to mention is you also want to be careful with it, right? I think there's also some warnings out there about be careful where your data goes and whatnot. Take that to heed, right? You want to make sure you're not just putting out your company's data to take advantage of this hot new technology. You want to make sure you're doing it in a secure fashion. You want to know where your data is going. And that even goes with the ServiceNow, right? ServiceNow is building their own large language model, and just really understand how that all works inside the system. It's great technology. But again, on the forefront, on the frontier of it. So just, be careful about that, but by all means dive into it, because I think it's super powerful where it's going. So that's what I wanted to mention on the AI side. So I'm not going to go too far into AI. AI is you're probably after watching this, you're probably going to see 6 more AI articles. So I'll just let them go into that even more. You can find plenty on the ServiceNow site as well about AI and how they're leveraging it and going forward with it. I also want to talk about, I just got back a couple weeks ago from a new type of event put on by ServiceNow. It was called Accelerate 2023, and it was put on by the Risk BU, the business unit, and it was truly a customer event. These were customers utilizing IRM, GRC, BCM in that space, anything having to do with that Risk BU. And there were existing clients that came in, and it was 2 days of just jam-packed sessions, unfettered access to product managers, product developers, product teams. It was a great event. I highly recommend that if you're in the GRC space and the IRM space and you're leveraging it at your organization, that you keep an eye out for Accelerate 2024 and keep an eye out for an invite there. It is a small, intimate event. It's kind of a more intimate event than Knowledge, and more focused, and also much more kind of user group, if you will. But I would almost say user group on exponential. So it was a great event. I appreciate ServiceNow. We were out there as a preferred partner, and we had a table set up in the expo. It was just great to get out there. It was actually at the headquarters for ServiceNow, so that was a treat for me. I'd never been there, and we just had a great time. And met so many people at ServiceNow, met so many clients, both ours and other partners. It was just a really good community gathering for the Risk BU. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And again, thank you, ServiceNow. Thank you to the clients that made it out there. And it was just a great time. It made it a great event. You may have seen my post also, and I kind of want to mention this again, but travel is, an interesting endeavor these days. I would say if you go back, when I was doing a lot of business travel before the pandemic, there were different standards or different aspects to it. There's more flights, etc. So now you're getting compressed timelines, compressed flight schedules. So anything to help make that travel easier, I appreciate. And when I got onto my Southwest flight, and as a 6'4" individual, and I sat down, and I still had about 3 or 4 inches before my knees hit the seat in front of me, I really took notice of it. And you may have seen my LinkedIn post about it, because it's such an anomaly these days. So I really appreciate that. I think some of you others can probably relate. I know I've met some people at the Accelerate event that can definitely relate. They were taller than I was. But I just wanted to kind of mention that again, and just kind of, hopefully people get a chuckle out of that, because it's really important to some of us. And then, another accomplishment for myself, I went out and took the Hardware Asset Management certification course, the CIS HAM. So it focuses on the HAM Pro features. And I wanted to take it because basically everything in ServiceNow is built off of the CMDB, built off assets, and managing all of that, right? Reporting incidents against them, retiring them, securing them. So there's a lot having to do with that asset landscape, which also translates into your CMDB landscape, or part of it anyways. So I wanted to get deeper into that, and look at how all that can manage and come in. And I was blown away by some of the features that the HAM aspect of ServiceNow can handle, from an inventory management, and just asset, purchase to retire, or desire to retire, I really call it, because it really starts when someone desires an asset. So it was a great course. I learned a ton, and I just, if I was an asset manager, I would definitely be looking at ServiceNow from an asset management standpoint. Well, that's really my spiel for this week. I don't have a ton this week. I'm not going to go into any demos at the moment. This was just kind of a quick chat over our coffee this morning, and hopefully, you got a couple of laughs with the humor and my new coffee mug. I'm really excited about that. I know it's kind of weird, but when you love coffee as much as I do, the mug that you drink it out of is just as important. So I'll raise that again and say thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. And let's stay caffeinated out there, everyone. And if you could, go ahead and click on the logo and go subscribe to the YouTube channel here. So appreciate it. Stay caffeinated out there.